Still in opposition, Mr. Speaker. The FBI says people get on this list because of, quote, a reasonable suspicion, according to the Washington Post, and I quote, maybe family members or acquaintances of people with potential terrorist connections. That's how you get 700,000 people on the terrorist watch list, which is different from the no-fly list, which the no-fly list has 47,000 people on. No-fly list. Steve Hayes of the Weekly Standard, who's a Fox News contributor, who's on the Bret Baier show, was put on the no-fly list because of his travel patterns. Anybody can get on this doggone thing. And I have not been able to find out the procedures to get off it. I imagine if you're denied a passage on an airplane because you have the same last name as someone else, and hence you're on the no-fly list, which means you're automatically on the terrorist watch list, you can write a letter to the airline, I guess. But we know that 51,000 people have filed redress complaints. These are people who were denied flying, which is a much tighter threshold than the watch list, which is 700,000 people. According to the ACLU, and Mr. Speaker, I want you to note something. This is probably the only time I'll ever quote the ACLU, okay? So I want you to know that. Historically, yes, sir. According to the ACLU, 280,000 people out of the 700 have no discernible affiliation with anybody remotely related to a terrorist. So I don't know what the criteria they're using is, because the federal government seems very reluctant to classify something as a terrorist act when it clearly, watch TV, geez, that's terrorism. So I think this is putting the burden on law-abiding citizens. Their constitutional right, clearly articulated in the Bill of Rights, and we're putting a burden on duly law-abiding citizens. When terrorists, guess what? They don't follow the law anyway. If a drunk driver kills somebody, we don't blame the car. We blame the drunk driver. Here, terrorists kill somebody, we blame the gun, not the terrorist. Terrorists are going to get guns. By this same notion that we should put anybody who wants to purchase a crock pot, as the Boston bombers did, on the terrorism watch list. So for those reasons, I wasn't going to speak, but I did. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.